The mail room, I be tuned in. Listen in to Tashon, she be going in. Y'all. Black queen for us black kings. We can learn a thing or two when we're locked in. One of the few places we can be heard. Man, I rocks with her, that's my word. The show is enlightening, engagement always enticing. I'm always come with an open mind, I'm never frightened. Guaranteed to walk away with minerals. Now that I'm thinking everything else is minuscule. We're the fools who don't protect black women. No arguing, disrespect, and that's it. Please come in peace when you call in, cause our friends ain't no slouch, fair warning. The mail room, messages from him. Y'all better listen if you want to win. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in.
And what's going on, everybody?
Yeah, baby.
Happy Saturday.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes,
we are back. Good to see everybody.
Good to see y'all.
Yeah, it's a new month, almost a new season.
Evelyn in the building. It's good.
Yes. Listen, DJ Johnny Prince, how you doing?
I'm feeling good, girl. Let me tell you something. Time is flying, y'all. We already March,
man. Can y'all believe that?
We just celebrated New Year's.
I'm talking about just celebrating New Year's.
Just popping bottles.
Right. Just popping them. I got my guest co-host, Mark B. How you doing?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Good. Mark got the headphones. He said, y'all ain't gonna talk about me today.
No, I got tired of Johnny talking about me.
Right. You see what I got on, right?
Yeah. Normally I don't cave to peer pressure, but Johnny got on me a couple times.
Me too, Mark.
I got to have y'all sounding good, man. I can't.
I'm sitting over here with big old headphones on at the house.
Look, I'm right here with you.
Listen, next we got to get his bestie. Evelyn, what's going on? Evelyn, wear your headphones, Evelyn.
Right.
You can't
You're the only one being left out.
Oh, she got
it on.
Luxurious. You got the curls popping. That's why we're
right. She got the curls popping. See, that's DJ Johnny Prince. He got us all with these headphones on.
Yes. I don't want to hear no feedback. I don't hear no feedback, y'all.
Right. So we clear? You don't hear nothing?
Perfectly clear. Thank you.
One time new in 2024.
That's right.
Right. That's it. Listen, before we get started, TMR is sponsored by Swag Her Magazine and TLC Coaching Services and hosted on all major podcast platforms, you guys.
That's right.
So listen up, good people. We're back for season 6 in podcast form. We are now coming to you on all major podcast platforms, including iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. So make sure you subscribe to YouTube, the Mailroom 7671, to listen to all of the episodes, y'all. Listen, I'm so super excited. We did say we were going to step it up in 2024, and Johnny took my words for it. He said, no, we're going to get these headphones. He said, when your guests come on, you're going to get the headphones. I said, Johnny, everybody may not have headphones, but they can't be a guest.
They're going to. That's it. Prerequisite. That's right.
There was no even arguing. Like, if they ain't got headphones, they can't come on the show.
Sounding like they in a wind tunnel or something like that.
Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that.
Look, he's taking his position seriously. He's taking it. Audio.
So did you get your headphones yet? Did you?
Right.
What's together?
Get out of here now.
Get the headphones together.
Get them out of here,
He said, not on my watch. If I'm on, you ain't got no headphones. We ain't doing it. We ain't doing it. Listen, Today we got an impactful show. We're talking about spiritual intimacy. Yeah. But before we get going, y'all, I gotta give the brow, but the brow goes to myself today.
What happened?
So I took out my braids last night because they were I was busted. I didn't have
definitely.
Oh, see, why would you have to? You know what? First the headphones.
Johnny telling truths in 2024.
Hey. So my cousin. No, because my cousin texted me when I was online. She said, "Cuz it's time to take out the braids."
I was even like, "Yo, Tashon, yo."
Like, I don't feel like taking them out. Even Chef was like, "You gonna keep them in?"
Look, everybody in your world is trying to drop subtle hints.
And I was like, I don't feel like taking them out. I said, okay, I will take. And then I did plan on taking them out last week, but I was sick, And I said, okay. But when she texted me while I was on live, that's why I was starting laughing. Yeah, she was talking about cuz it's time to take that break. And I was like, right. I was like, I couldn't. But when I took out my braids, y'all, this is y'all's fault. This is y'all's fault. I done cut my hair on the side.
Oh no! You got a bald spot?
I got a short spot. Now my hair done grew right down here. This side is short.
Oh man!
So you got the TLC going.
You got the TLC going. You got the one side. Yeah, you got the one side.
Oh,
why you cut your hair? You know that. Come on,
when I was sitting and watching, I said, okay, while we watching TV, let me go ahead so they won't talk about me tomorrow and whatnot. I just have to. I didn't get to do the twist out, so when I leave here, I'm going to rewash it and twist it out or whatever. And I'm sitting there cutting. I always pre-cut my braids on take it out, and I'm just like, okay, I got it. So I'm measuring it, and I just snipped. Didn't realize I snipped too far up.
Wow.
So it's a little short on this side.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, girl.
Hey, Keisha, how you doing, girl? Yeah, yeah. But it's y'all's fault. It's y'all's fault for all that pressure. See, if I wasn't under pressure, I know how to cut my hair without the pressure.
Hey, you got
go swoop over. 90 style swoop over.
We got a TI.
It ain't even enough to swoop over. It ain't even enough. I had to put so much gel right here so it can just stay up. Like, I don't know if y'all can see it, but look at that. Look, it is. I cut it. I cut it, and it's supposed to be down here. So yeah, so that's why I'm just like,
it's gonna grow back in a couple months. You good?
Yeah, good beautician to get that together.
Yeah, but it's y'all's fault. I'm blaming on y'all. I ain't taking no account.
I lay that at Johnny's feet.
Right, that's Johnny and my cousin and Chef
to get them together this year.
It's Chef's fault. Hey, Gloria, it's their fault because if I wasn't under all of that pressure, I would have known how to cut my braids. I've been cutting out my braids forever, but I was under this pressure.
Yeah, about 45 years. Yeah.
You know what?
You keeping that door open, girl. You keeping that door open, baby.
I said, wait till I tell them I done cut my hair. You know how long it's been since I done cut my own braid. So yeah, it's y'all's fault. So the brow goes to me today. It should go to Johnny.
To us, right?
It should go to y'all. It should go to y'all. That's where it should go.
Mr. Get Right or Get Left. That's his name this year.
You gave me one job and I'm executing. That's it. That is it.
I'm gonna have to go back and read that contract again. I have to reread that MOU. What is that? Because y'all make me sick. I said, look at it. Talking about braids.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, but they didn't fall out over the time, so they were hanging on.
They were hanging on.
They were hanging on.
They were hanging on, like they say in the church.
They were hanging on.
They were becoming classic.
Chef said, you put more gel on it. I was like, yes, I'm putting more gel on the edges.
He's like, now you just went through one thing of gel. You got the other one too. That's what
you bought another job.
You know when men start playing in your hair, right? It ain't the sexy play. He was playing into like trying to style it. And I was like, yeah.
Looking at it.
Like, leave my hair alone. I said, I'm gonna take Then
Your
when
hair
I had the afro, when I finished washing, he was like, "You going on the podcast like that?" I'm like, you know what? I'm
Look,
going through some things. Leave me alone.
that's
God.
love right there. He's just like, so
Listen.
you done? We ain't
Right.
gonna
Like,
say your hair look whoop.
right.
So you finished,
Right.
baby? That's what you okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
That,
my God.
I said, you know what? Y'all men don't have no filter.
Hey,
None.
man, listen, look. You can't have
We
you
trying
coming
to
out here looking
And
crazy, man.
trying to
and
keep
then
together.
That's
the
right.
pre-K, I did what you call a career day on Thursday.
Thursday.
So I was
I saw that.
looking cute. I was looking, I had on my little entrepreneur shirt and whatnot. The kids were
Yeah.
loving the presentation. Pre-K comes, you shoes, not your shoes. You shoes dirty, but you still cute. That's the pre-K
Oh,
girls.
man, for real?
For
Yeah.
real.
Oh,
I saw that post and
That's
I thought,
hilarious.
oh my goodness.
I
Wow.
said, just
Wow.
busted up my self-esteem. I'm like, I already knew the legs were busted. Now you talk about you shoes, your
Yeah.
you shoes cute. I mean, dirty, but you still look cute. I said,
Look.
and I'm like, what is the dirt that they see?
Oh.
It wasn't nothing but a little, I don't know even know what it was. I just
Oh,
went on
my
to the
God.
bathroom, got some paper towel, and cleaned them off.
You felt
Won't-
every inch of that hurt, too, probably.
I
Won't-
did. I did.
Won't
Good
nobody
feeling
keep
about
you
my
humble like kids.
Yeah.
no.
Keep you humble.
Child, humble you can.
Yeah.
I was like, oh well, let me put some more lip gloss on. Let me try to hold my head up a little high for the remainder of the career day.
Giving out the
Remember-
spiritual butt whippings. Keep
I
on
remember
playing.
Right.
my oldest is 23 now, but when he was like 3 or 4, he was like, I want to be just like you, Daddy. I was like, oh yeah? He's like, yeah, I want to be fat just like you, Daddy. Okay. Thank you, son. Thank you, son. Appreciate it.
Oh my God.
They
Kids don't care.
will. They don't. Like I
Oh.
tell anybody, if you want the truth,
Yeah.
you want the truth.
Go around some kids.
Oh
Go
my
around some
God.
kids.
And you better
Kids and
have
winos.
and you better
Oh my
have some
God.
good self-esteem, because if not,
Yeah.
oh,
Yep.
you shot. Your
You bet.
self-esteem will be shot. So
Yeah.
I
Pride.
remember somewhere on the internet, I came across this video of a man who was talking about his new weight loss goal. And
Yeah.
he said the reason for the impetus for his new weight loss goal was his newborn
my.
baby tried to suckle with him instead of mom.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
I knew what
man
you're talking
titty.
about.
Man
Man
titty.
titty.
Yeah. Man titty. Yeah. Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
no, I'm hitting the gym today. I'm not.
Trying to do some push-ups once the
Gotta do
kids
it, Tia.
start trying to size you up, and yeah.
Listen,
Gotta do it.
every time in the classroom, the kids be like, "Oh, you so fluffy. You just so fluffy." I'm like, get away from me. I'm
Yeah.
like, get away from me.
So
Or it was,
fluffy.
or either your butt big, Miss Green, your butt is big, and I'd be like, you know what? No filter.
No, none.
Lord have mercy.
But
Oh,
I
I'm so
love
sorry.
though that I
We'll
mean, if
see.
you don't get yourself together, they will get you together. So that was that was the highlight of my week. My self-esteem was shot from the hair to the shoes. I'm just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm
Get
done. Give me
you
some
together.
wings. I'm done. That's
Oh.
it. Listen, let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, let's jump into this intimacy talk.
Yes. Tatiana, a knotless technician. Visit her IG at Hair by Tatiana. DJ Johnny Prince, DJ and podcaster. Follow his IG at Be Clear Alert Podcast. Evelyn Whitney, author. Please visit www.evelynwhitney.com. Ernest James, motivational speaker. Please visit www.ebooksbyejames.com.
All right, and that is created by our very own DJ Johnny Prince and
Yes.
Mr. Takeover. So again, if you all want your business shouted out, connect with me at YGM7671 or DM me and let's get you shouted out. Invest in your business. Invest in your business, y'all. So
Please.
listen. So the month of February, we know we're in March now, but the month of February, we were talking about intimacy, and we covered physical, emotional, intellectual. And so I wanted to close it out with spiritual intimacy. And you all can find the information on my IG page on spiritual intimacy. And And the reason why I love talking about this is because, again, TMR is that safe platform for brothers and sisters to talk about these topics in their relationships, because we seem to skip over these types of topics because we really don't know how to talk. We don't know how to, really communicate with each other. And so you have a lot of good couples out there. You have a lot of good brothers who want to be in relationships, but they really don't know what half this stuff is. So when you hear the word intimacy, most people think about sex and they think about romance, and they're looking at TV and movies and whatnot, and not knowing that it's deeper than that and so forth. So again, I was encouraging people on IG. Intimacy is not a race, it's not a destination. It is literally a journey that you're building between you and your partner. So we're gonna talk about that today and so forth, and just look, y'all know we grown. Let's talk. So
Okay.
give me your definition, your insight on intimacy. What do you think it is? Whoever want to jump in.
Well, just like you said, Tashon, the road to each other, it's that journey is constant. You know what I mean? That intimacy journey is constant. It's every day. It's something you have to choose, like your partner, like marriage, like everything else. You have to get up and decide and choose to continue this intimacy journey with your partner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And intimacy is everything. It's a multiple of things. It ain't just touching. It ain't just sex. Of course, we all know that. You know, this is why it's important to choose every time, every day you wake up. You know, to choose your partner and to choose intimacy, and to choose relationship, choose family, and all of that stuff. So intimacy is just that. Intimacy is it's consideration. Intimacy it's man, you know, it's it's a plethora of things, man. But I know it's one thing you got to choose every day.
Yeah.
You got to decide to be intimate with your partner.
Right. Yeah. Evelyn.
Yeah,
Mark.
No, you had Evelyn. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. In all the different ways that intimacy can be manifest or even received, the baseline of it is closeness. There's a physical closeness, there's an emotional closeness, there's an intellectual closeness. And what we're talking about today is even a spiritual closeness. And I agree with both of you thus far that you've said that intimacy is a journey. It's not necessarily a destination, it's a journey. And I agree with that because in parallel to the consideration of it being simply closeness, you have to maintain closeness.
That's right.
You can't just be close today and expect to be the same close tomorrow. You have to do something to sustain that closeness.
That's right.
And you can actually also work to build it. If it is where it is and where it is not enough anymore, you can build more closeness. You can be more intimate. You can draw yourselves into each other in whatever way may be lacking. And when you have spiritual closeness, or you have emotional closeness, suppose you feel like the intellectual closeness is lacking. You can work toward that specifically because you're recognizing that closeness comes in and is received through many different forms.
Right.
I like that.
I like that. Yeah. Mark.
I was looking for this quote that said there, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember it. There must be a place where a man can lay down his arms and still be counted as a man. I cannot remember where that quote is. I'll try and find it. But when I think about intimacy, I think about vulnerability.
Absolutely.
I think about the place that you can be totally and completely yourself, not have to defend yourself from anyone or anything, and just allowed to be. And if you can find that in a person, then there's a closeness that grows with that person, because everybody wants a space where they don't have to put on, where they have to, wear their outer shell. They can completely be themselves. Intimacy is at its core a safe space for your heart, for your mind, for your spirit, where you can be um, totally yourself and not have to worry about being hurt or anything like that. That's the space that grows between two people when they allow one another to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I like
Absolutely
that.
true.
Yeah. And then and the what I've noticed, and even with me, I struggled. It was intimacy was a challenge for me, and because I was trying to fit it into this one box, and it was like, okay, well, they're doing it that way, and they're doing it that way. Well, the TV says you have to do it this way, and the movie said it has to be this way, but it's not. It's really tailored, it's customized to you and your partner,
Mhm.
and in the sense of spiritual intimacy, it's not just about church, it's not just about
Salute.
your God, your faith or whatnot. There are a lot of things that that can contribute to the spiritual intimacy,
Mhm.
and I posted these on the mailroom page if anyone wants to go back and look at it. So this is what I defined it as. I said we can define spiritual intimacy as revealing your spirituality to your partner, spiritual disclosure, and listening to your partner's disclosures in a supportive and non-judgmental fashion, spiritual support. Um, and it's a lot of things that you can do to bridge that gap.
Mhm.
Again, it's not going to look like the next person, and I
Mhm.
think that's becoming one of the issues in our relationships, because we are literally trying to make our relationships look like the next person,
Yep.
and that's hurting us,
Thank you,
Yes.
social media.
Yep.
Thank you, social
Often,
media.
yeah,
often also the next person that we're trying to make our relationships look like are the people in the movies, the people
Yep.
on TV. And I remember a long, long, long time ago, I was reading this article about this show particularly, and there were four women who were of a certain age, and they were dealing with why some of those women are single. And the
yeah,
author of that article said that this particular woman who was kind of the star of the show was always single because it was scripted to be funny. But here there are
Mm.
single women trying to model their lives after this woman who don't
Mm.
have a
hmm,
team of writers.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
Mm.
the idea behind the folly or flaw in trying to model relationships after what we see on TV and after what we see on movies, those movie writers and those TV writers have a motive. They're trying to
yeah,
make you buy their product. So
Right.
what they're selling you
yeah,
may not necessarily be the most healthy for you. And
Mhm.
it's that struggle between seeing what we see and then
hmm,
being who we are
right,
that creates the conflict for many individuals.
yeah,
And that's
Yeah.
that's why coming to age movies don't just stop being relevant when you get out of your teens.
right,
You're
Mhm.
looking at the
yeah,
entire world like this is what the world is telling me I should be. I'm nowhere near that, so I'm worthless. No,
right,
you're not.
yeah,
The world has a motive for telling you that that's how you're supposed to be. There's a
Come on
reason
now.
that that's
Come
what
on.
you're thinking.
That's
That's a
right.
reason
right,
that's what you're told to think. So when
Yeah.
yeah,
you come out of that, give yourself space to actually breathe.
That's right.
That is
mm,
where you have the highest possibility of communicative exchange with
yeah,
another person who has also done that.
Yeah.
right, yeah,
Done the exact same work. I
yeah,
like I look at relationships and what I say to people is that I don't ever want to love defensively.
Mhm.
mm,
I don't ever want to progress in a relationship defensively, giving you the least amount of me so that I can retain the most of me.
yeah,
I want to be completely open. I want you to be completely open, and I want us to explore with one another. Because I think a lot of people have the mindset that um, when I see women on TV and they're in relationships, they don't have to do this or they don't have to do that, and they have these standards and these checklists that men are supposed to go after. And when boys look at TV, they see, oh well, we're guys, we're supposed to be going after this, we're supposed to be going after that. We're supposed to demand this from a woman, and we're supposed to. You're either the red pill guy or you're,
hmm,
a simp guy. and nobody's taking the time to heal in between these exchanges that they're having with one another. So that when they're in a relationship with somebody, they're not saying, oh, you're doing that thing that reminds me of that person that did that thing to me. So we don't really get to experience that person. We're kind of like, we're trying to we don't allow that person to experience all of us. We only give them a piece because we gave so much to the last person, and then they hurt us. So now I don't want to, I don't want to give that much again. But like I said, I've said plenty of times, you got to pay to play. You gotta put your cards out there. You got to push all the chips to the front in order to get the best reward. Because if you really give a piece of yourself, because you're saving the rest of yourself until that other person proves that they're worthy of it, well, they may step away before you get to show them all of this other stuff that you have to get to them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let me ask. They're also doing the same thing, or they're also withholding until you prove yourself worthy. So now both of them are like, okay, well, I'll show you my cards if you show me yours. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Where are they gonna go? That's
dry relationship.
When both of them
dry relationship. Right. Let me ask y'all this. How did y'all learn about intimacy? How did you learn about it?
I've seen it. I have my parents, so I seen it. You know what I mean? I seen it. Yeah, firsthand. So I see they take care of each other. I mean, I ain't. We ain't see details,
right?
I may have walked in on them one time. You know what I'm saying?
You walked in on your parents.
I walked in on them one time.
I walked in on my too.
I think I caught Phyllis one time too. I'm not sure.
It's still etched in my head to this day. Oh my gosh. But did y'all see intimacy growing up? Okay, you said you saw it. What about you?
I never saw a man loving my mom the right way. I never saw that.
Yeah.
It's something I desired. I desired for her. Yeah. But I also wanted that. So truthfully, my insight when it comes to intimacy came from God. Came from reading the Bible and internalizing the relationship that God has with man.
Yeah.
And then saying, oh, so this is how I'm supposed to be towards, the woman that I love. And this is how that exchange is supposed to be in a physical sense. So that's how.
You're right. I like that. Evelyn, how did you experience or witness intimacy growing up or whatnot?
With my parents as well. They are if both of them have passed away at this point, and I find myself reminiscing about the things that I learned by their example. And I have to be careful how I say this. I did see physical intimacy between my parents, but it wasn't what you all are talking about. My father gave my mother hugs.
Okay.
He held her hand.
I saw the plan too.
He gave her gifts. He let her know that she was important to him. And when I saw that juxtaposed to the time that he was physically unable to work, and then she was able to then work, and the household was still maintained, to see him regard her as tenderly as he did, and then she still bring her part, if you will, for how both people are supposed to be participating in a relationship. That expression of care, along with the teamwork that they had in the relationship together, was a phenomenal example for me when I was a young child. And I didn't recognize that everybody's household didn't work like that until I started going to school. Yeah. Until I started listening to my classmates describe their household situations. A lot of them were from single parent homes. A lot of them had fathers who were in the home, but not emotionally present. A lot of them had a lot of different dynamics that were going. I thought my household was normal. I thought that's how everybody was.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I started seeing other people's experiences that I recognized something is not the same here. You know, something isn't the same here. That whole thing that they had, I didn't know to call it anything special because I thought it was normal.
Yeah. That's good. I didn't see any of the intimacy with my parents growing up. And I think that was one of the reasons why I wasn't able to show the whole physical or the affection and whatnot. I didn't see my dad give my mom hugs and kisses because we didn't hug. My mom wanted to hug. She was a hugger. I was like,
Wow. Even now, you're like, ew.
Like, you know, we did a side hug, you know, even though they're passed away, you know, like it was a side hug type of thing. But I learned also that with my dad's side of the family, they were not affectionate people. So it was passed down because I'm not sure if I know they didn't see intimacy, any types of intimacy with them growing up. Whereas my mom's side, I don't see, because Madea and Cornelius, both of them passed away. Don't talk about me, Madea. They were divorced. So I'm pretty sure they didn't see, but they had more affectionate with their siblings, between their siblings versus my dad. So you get these two people together. I'm not going to say they didn't love each other, but my parents' relationship, I think, was more based off because I was born, in a sense. You know, my mama got pregnant and my dad was like, okay, I'm gonna take care of the family, So he stepped in his role as a man. So he never understood. I don't think they understood what it was. You know. Now I did catch my
They
mom.
understood roles. That's what it was.
They understood roles.
Yeah.
And then so we didn't see the whole the physical intimacy. Like I said, I never saw my dad hug or kiss on my mom. It was just, I won't say it was business. It was just like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a man. My mama, you know. And then, but I did see the spiritual intimacy later on in life when they came together to do the prayer and the Bible studies and so forth. So, even with the intellectual, when I think about it, oh, you know what, this is gonna be in my tell-all book. I don't know if I'm able to talk about this because my dad, I can see them now come and hunt me in my dreams, telling my business.
Who told you to be telling?
Right, telling my business, you know. But no, but I don't even think because my dad was a quiet person, and you know they talked, so maybe that was a form of intellect. And again, because we have different ideas of what intimacy looks like. So maybe that was their intellectual intimacy. And, you know, maybe they did have physical intimacy, but it was in the privacy in their bedroom. You know, they didn't show it in front of us. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Is that a good thing, a bad thing, or what? Should you show?
It depends on the situation. Absolutely.
Okay.
I think I believe that the propriety of displayed intimacy, number one, depends on the couple, and secondly, it depends on, you know, the person who is witnessing it. You know, if there are I'm going to pick on a random wild group of people just to make the point. When I was little, there were people who used to be called hippies.
Yeah.
Free love, smoke whatever you want, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
People, some of them were exhibitionists in many ways. They would have sex publicly, and it didn't matter to them who saw it, children, friends, family, co-workers, whoever. It didn't matter. Now again, like I said, that's a sweeping generalization. So if you know any hippies who didn't behave that way, don't come for me. The point is,
they know what they were doing.
Right. And many people see that and they think, ooh, they're not supposed to be doing that. That's not okay.
Yeah.
To that extreme, I would agree that that's not necessarily the best example of it.
Okay.
At the same time, the complete lack is just as much of a form of abuse. To not be able to see that there's a connectivity between these two people who love each other is very difficult for some people to learn that the person that you love is supposed to be able to discern it in your actions. They're supposed to be able to discern it in your closeness to them and how close they feel to you. They're supposed to be able to know that you two are a unit.
Right.
And whatever form of intimacy undergirds that understanding is appropriate in the proper context.
Yeah.
We have a modern version of what you were talking about as far as the free love hippie thing. The dude Nature Boy, I think he's down there in Atlanta with y'all.
Oh yeah.
He just got hit with life.
That's what I'm about to say. He just got hit with life.
Yeah, he got life for multiple things. And I remember watching a video of his where he said, he has sex in front of his kids. I'm like, in front of your kids?
Right.
He's like, it's natural, because in his mind it's supposed to be natural. Of course, it eventually came out later that he was raping and all type of stuff, which is why he got life.
Right.
So there are extremes, in other words, is what I'm saying. But and on both ends, because when you're so buttoned up, just like in like the 50s and 60s, they would show husbands and wives on TV, and they would have two beds in the bedroom. How you got two beds in the bedroom? You got 8 kids.
Right.
There's a different reason for that.
Right.
Somebody was sliding over to the other bed. You know what I mean?
Ricky Ricardo, them they were putting them beds together. You know. You like, wait a minute, my dear, you got 5. You and Cornelius got 5 kids, and you gonna tell me you just had on that house robe? Okay, what was that house robe?
That house robe hiked up,
right?
You said Ricky Ricardo.
Yeah, I love Lucy.
I'm thinking Wilma and Fred Flintstone. Okay,
that too. But you know, I love
that
Lucy.
That was short though, so she didn't have to move it too much.
She didn't, right?
No.
But as far as what I understood to be the point of the 2 beds in the marital home situation, was just that children were deemed to be too young to understand that, men and women shared a bed and what happened therein. So they just said, let's keep it clean, keep it easy, and just go for it. So
the problem with that though is that there were some households that did have a husband and wife thinking that they were supposed to sleep in 2 separate beds. And it was I actually knew people whose grandparents slept in 2 separate beds. Now that may be of course, women didn't have as much agency back then. So I think that maybe those relationships wouldn't have survived in current times. Because of the lack of intimacy in the various forms of it. But I think that have extremes on both ends, and the extreme on the other end of not showing intimacy, not like I personally never saw. Well, I won't say never. Didn't see a lot of a man bringing softness out of my mom. So then, when you're a young boy learning how to date, and you're not used to seeing that softness, then you don't know how to find it. You don't know how to respond to it when you do get it. It may be a off-putting because why are you so sensitive? Why are you so mushy? Why are my words so much more important to you now? How come I can't joke on you the way that I was joking on you before when we were just friends? Now you upset when I talk about your head, but you was fine with it, But when you don't see that softness coming out of like your mom, then it's like, okay, well, how do I respond to that? And you don't have like your dad to show you how to respond to that softness. So then you grow up, and then maybe intimacy may be an issue for you also, because not because you don't desire it, but because you just don't even have the tools of how to navigate
receive it or know when you know what
that's
it is.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true, because I struggle with that. That's why I was like, okay, I'm trying to be hard, but then I didn't see my mom being hard. You know what I'm saying? She was the ultimate feminine woman. Like, she taught us how to groom, we kept ourselves groomed. It was the being a woman, but then at the same time, I developed more of my dad with the whole entrepreneurship type of deal, and I end up going hard. So now I'm in the season of my life, I'm trying to get back to the intimacy, not only with my husband, but with myself. Like, you know, bringing that femininity back, that softness back, because I'm tired of being hard, y'all. I'm tired of being hard.
It's not meant.
No.
It really isn't meant for women
It's not
to be consistently in that mode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
We do that. We do that because we're hunter gatherers. We have to. Our softness in the world comes to our detriment. So men have to hold on. That's why I'm always telling women, look, you want to bust your man's bubble. You feel like that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Keep his ego in check. He needs that ego.
Right.
That ego is what lets him goes out and has the audacity to feel like he can do the things that he can do to take care of you. So let him have that ego. Just make sure that he, you know, that the other side of it, that he allows you to have your, you know, your pride and your ego also, and there's a balance. But we need that tough exterior, especially when we're dealing with other men.
Yeah. Especially. Hold that thought. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll start with you, Evelyn, because I want to ask y'all men, how do you make a woman? Is it y'all's job to make her soft or provide her to be soft or whatnot?
Good question.
That has come up, and it's all with intimacy and so forth. But hold on.
Melanie Prince, owner of Prince Property Solutions LLC. Please call 646-260-9148. Erica Smith, certified sexual health consultant and intimacy coach for pure romance. Please visit www.prbylady.com. Terrence Martin, owner of Martin Custom Trailers and Repair. Call 404-781-8437. Arlene B. Corley, inspirational speaker and host of the Path podcast. Visit www.arlenebolden.com.
Woo! Wait! Every time I look at her, they be on point. On point.
Yes.
So yes, if y'all are just joining us, we are talking about intimacy, but talking about spiritual intimacy and so forth. But Evelyn, what were you about to say?
You had made a statement that you were trying to come back to a softness that you had lost, in effect, because you saw your mother being demonstrating this softness, but you picked up more of your father's hardness. And you were trying to balance those two premises. Now, I realize this can go off into a different direction of the talk, but I'm really going to try to streamline it for the point that I want to make right now. Male and female are who they are, point blank. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The roles that define male and female are what changes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons that women who are producers, women who are entrepreneurs, women who can lead are accused of being masculine.
Yeah.
And when we lose sight of the male versus female, point blank, versus the ways that male and female are defined, we start imposing things that this one only should do, that one only should do. And there's a problem with that because it creates these stark imbalances. That once you have that structure, anything outside of that becomes wrong. And it's the place between those two extremes where intimacy has its deepest foundation, where I can sit before my guy and tell him that there's something I want to do, and he encourages me and strengthens me to go do that. Where he can sit before me and say, I've had the worst day possible, and I don't need to talk about it. I just need to hold you. Can I do that? And I receive that, and I say yes. The presence of these extremes cripple true intimacy, because it is the space between those extremes where intimacy exists.
Yeah. So my question to the guys, how do you, or is it your job to bring out her softness?
It's my job to facilitate it. It's not my job to make her to make her soft. I have to facilitate it. You know what I mean? I have to. I take pride in being able to Because my thing is like I want to be able to give my wife the option to just be soft, be feminine, you ain't got to go out in the world and do nothing, but just maintain the intimacy, just maintain where I can be able to come home to a nice, clean, serene energy. I have to facilitate that. You know what I'm saying? So I have to give her that. But now the softness, that her being able to be soft and receive that, she has to dig in. This is where spirituality come in. That comes from within, you know what I mean? And if she's unable to do that, then it's not a man's problem, it's not a me problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay. I'm giving you, I facilitated this for you. You know what I'm saying? And this is something and this is what I'm running into. Is like, you know, women that don't know how to receive because they haven't been shown, you know what I mean? They haven't seen their mother seen a man love on them. You know what I mean? They haven't had real intimacy in their life, you know, growing up. So, you know, so that's the issue. And mental, it is an issue all around. They just don't know how to, they don't know. They just think it's some touchy-feely thing when it's more to that. But, you know, you got to become spiritual to understand that, because a lot of this is spiritual. A lot of this, there's a lot of information inside here that we're not privy to. You know what I mean? Let's take a look around. We depend on the externals, and it's not working for us. It just ain't as a people. You know what I mean? So it's time to get spiritual. It's time to go in to get that information. You know what I mean? But you know, it's a whole bunch of stuff in there along with that. It's trauma. It's I was raped at 5. I never had a good relationship. I don't know what this is. I don't know how to receive love. I don't know what love is. I don't know what my pops is. My mother don't never love. It's all of that inside as well. So we got to do the work to dig all of that up, so that we can start to receive we start to receive the intimacy. We start to receive the love that we need. You know what I'm saying? We got to become more spiritual, y'all. That's at the end of the day. We got to become more spiritual. The external is just not working for us, y'all.
Yeah. I posted one of the definition. Well, one thing that we could do was practice spiritual disciplines together. And that stated, well, this came from marriage.com. Engaging in spiritual practices together, such as meditation, prayer, or attending religious services, can be a great way to deepen your spiritual connection. You create a regular practice that you both commit to and use this time to share your thoughts and experiences with each other. This can help you to feel more connected on a spiritual level and create a shared sense of purpose. And that's connected to what you were saying, Jenny. Like I think once you start digging deeper into your intimacy with that spiritual piece of it, and again, it's not going to look like everybody else's. You know, your husband may not pray like your friend's husband or whatnot, or you know, he may not do some of the things that you see that the girlfriend's husbands or a committed partner are doing, and so forth. But when you are doing it with your partner, when you are sharing that intimate space, you have to embrace that and you nurture that so that you can move deeper in your connection and so forth.
I agree with that.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I lost my thought. It'll come back. Johnny, go ahead.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You know, one thing I want to bring up too, you know, let me use an example, because like you could take a Mexican out of Mexico, put him anywhere, and he will uphold his tradition and the way of living, right? Yeah. He will, you know, he wouldn't conform. He'll work it, but he wouldn't conform. You'll take a Russian out of Russia and put him anywhere. He would not conform to where they at. He would uphold his tradition because of his pride and whatnot, right? So when people say, you know, do what works for you, you know, it's a lot of sayings, a lot of ways of life came out of America because it's free here, right? Quote unquote, right? So there's no one way. There's no way of life like everybody else. This is why it's important to have culture, and because it brings on order and a level of tradition. Tradition kind of brings in order. So now when you have people saying you gotta do what's good for you, do what's best for you, right? But my thing is the best that you're doing is not working. It's not working for the collective nor yourself. I mean, you may be surviving the moment, but in the long run, it ain't helping you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many things that we're doing now in the moment and we have that ideology that we that mantra that do what works for you. But my thing is, it's hurting us in the long run. It's hurting our kids in the long run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have to. I'm hoping that our kids and our grandkids start to create some sort of culture and tradition to where, as a collective, like, we know this. That's not how we do it. We don't do it like that. This is the way we do it. This is how, because we need order. Everybody else has the level of order.
That's
Venezuela,
true.
China, Japan.
Yeah.
You know, everywhere you go, there's culture, there's order, there's tradition. Here, it's do what works for you. We don't do like.
Yeah.
Like we have to create a sense of purpose, some sort of way, and we only can do that through like tradition and culture. There's no culture here.
Yeah.
There's a culture in Louisiana. There's a culture in Indiana. There's a culture in Cali. Like everywhere you go, there's a way of living, but there's no one way with us.
Yeah.
There's just no one way with us, and we have to develop that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna state the obvious. Part of the reason, using your example, is Black people in particular are creating our culture here in the United States, because we had our culture taken from us. So traditions that we have, they're mixed. They're a little bit from here and a little bit from there. Our roles, all of those, that's what we've garnered since we gotten here.
Got here.
How they were in the motherland, completely different. You know, so we're creating the roles. But to answer your question, that ain't my job. That ain't my job. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's you take that up with you and your mama and your daddy. That ain't got. I'm not here to build a wife. I'm not here to.
That's you agree with L. Carlton? Y'all know
what he said. What he said?
He said, I agree. If I gotta teach her how to be submissive and soft, I ain't interested. So I just asked him, do you provide a safe space for her to be soft?
Let me tell you.
I'm not supposed to do it like that, right? That was hard.
The head part was a little too much.
Do you, sir?
There you go. Look at the softness.
Look at that. Look at that smile.
Go ahead, girl. Look. But I look at this like this way. Is it a woman's job to teach a man how to be a provider?
Come on now.
Is it a woman's job to teach a man how to be a protector? Do she got to put on boxing gloves and say, okay, when some dude in the club touch my butt, this is what you're supposed to do? No. You choose the person who has those qualities in them.
That's right.
So what happens though is that when men state, and this happens for women also, but we're talking about the men. So when men state that I want these qualities in a woman, that these qualities are preferable, you always get a portion of women saying, well, just because I'm not this way don't mean that I'm not quality or qualified, and maybe it's your fault. Maybe you need to bring that out of me. No, I don't.
No, I don't. It's my job.
If you don't
not
have
my job.
Messages from him.
That is not my job to provide that for you. The only thing I am supposed to do is to make it so that when you display those things, you're not shut down, or you're not given a reason not to. So in other words, making a space for you to be that way. I don't want to date another dude because I like women. So, you know, there only needs to be
bottom line. That's what he said. You know that's it.
He
like the women.
One rough, hairy leg person in the relationship. And I choose that role. I'll take that role. You
right.
Other, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because and I teach my daughters this. I always want them to feel empowered, and I always want them to feel like they can do whatever they choose to do. But I want them to know that there's certain spaces that they're not supposed to take hold of, like this. It's not your job to protect your man physically.
Right.
It's his job to protect you. His bones are bigger, his muscles are denser.
Yeah.
Because it's not just your man.
Yeah.
A man. This is how you judge whether somebody is a good man or not.
Right.
If he can sit back and watch a woman being hurt or be the one hurting a woman, he's not a good man. Right? Because our fists, our hands were never intended to hurt you all. Right. Our strength was never intended to be used against you all. Right. We were built to protect you all. So I say this all the time, and people reacted to it. Like if a woman tells her man that, hey, baby, I know we down, but I believe in you. I know that you're going to get us through this. And that we'll be willing to run through a brick wall. Yeah. If you're a man and you let your woman feel like she's protected at all times, watch what she does. Watch how she presents herself in the world. Watch how full she can be of herself. Yeah, like they say, walking into the job like you run the place.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
We're supposed to do that. We're supposed to fill you up.
That's right.
By letting you know, hey, look, no matter what, I got you.
That's part of the facilitating.
You will never have to worry about somebody overpowering you or you being out here by yourself. I got you. And if I got to die to protect you, just know that that's going to happen.
That's right.
I'm going to die, you're going to live. But know that you're protected. That woman now is able to fully be herself.
Come on now.
In a world that has done all that it could to either shut her down or abuse her or try to diminish her. So if you can be the thing that makes her feel like she can go ahead and ascend. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's what that does for her is the same thing that the previous example of what I said does for a man. It's the same thing. So it's not my job to put things in you. Yeah. Right. Your parents made you. Right. And it was their job to put things in you. And if they didn't, then it's your job to get those things and put them inside yourself. Right. I'm not going to make you soft. I'm not going to make you a wife. I'm not going to make you a good woman. I'm going to allow you to be that.
Yeah. I'm facilitating to allow you to be that. Right.
Wow. Messages from him. I love it. I love it. I mean, and y'all are right. When you think of it like that, I love that because again, I think a lot of us we are. I was listening to, and I'm gonna let you go, Evelyn. I was listening to Dr. Miles Monroe, rest in peace, him and his wife, a great preacher and teacher. But he was saying that even as women, we should not be asking another woman how to be a woman. Because God gave us each how to be who we're supposed to be. And and I thought that was so profound because what we do, and he wasn't saying that we can go to our girlfriends to consult or whatnot, but what happens is when you start trying to figure out how to be the woman just like her,
you get the wrong information.
Or how to be sexy and intimate like she is or whatnot, because God created each one of us individually and we have our unique softness. And I think he was saying that we shouldn't go to you all to learn about who we are or something. It was something
like spirituality come in that. This where it comes in.
It was the spirituality is. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool that y'all said that. Like I like that. So Evelyn, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
The first thing was that the thought that I lost earlier came back, and it was about what we mean by spiritual intimacy. Yeah. Oftentimes we hear spiritual and we automatically think religion, and that's fair. Johnny was making the point that spiritual intimacy also deals with the individual, and that isn't necessarily connected to a religious manifestation. And those are two different legs of the same spiritually intimate body. There are times that you can pray with somebody because both of you know the Lord's Prayer, you say it together. Right. But outside of that environment, are you able to talk with that person about the parts of that prayer that you don't understand, the aspects of that prayer that you don't really believe?
Yeah.
Those different aspects of spiritual intimacy come into play overall when we talk about spiritual intimacy in general. There's the religious manifestation of it and the interpersonal manifestation of it when you're dealing with you in front of them and they're dealing with themselves in front of you. That's that environment where the spiritual intimacy person to person has its foundation.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking about was, is it a man's responsibility to make a woman soft? Is it a woman's responsibility to teach the man how to provide? Both of them should have enough wherewithal to be the people that they are. That does not mean anything in or strictly defined by gender roles is the only right way to do that. There are men who are not bigger than women. It doesn't happen a lot, but there are some short men. And if there's a muscular woman, she's only masculine in appearance because people attribute muscularity to men. That doesn't mean that she isn't healthy as a woman to have tone, to have muscles, to be, ripped, as some people say.
Yeah.
But again, that goes back to what a man is, what a woman is objectively, versus a separate discussion about what that definition is or how they are defined by these particular in and out roles. I do not believe that it is a man's responsibility to make a woman soft, because oftentimes when men have tried to make a woman soft, it's abusive. He will punch her in the mouth if she doesn't do what he says do, or if she says something that he doesn't appreciate. And that attempt at making her soft is what fortifies her and gets her to that threshold where she leaves him if he doesn't kill her first.
Right.
So his effort in making her soft is not going to do that.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, is it a woman's job to make a man a provider? The way that she tries to do that is belittling in the same way. It's just not physically belittling. She could, but it's not usually that she'll go up and pop him upside his head. Why didn't you fill out those medical school applications that I put in your toolbox? And her attitude about what he is not is what he takes away from that, even if it is her effort to make her something he could be.
She tries to raise him in effect.
Right. And when you get into situations like that, it becomes an unhealthy outworking of the misconceptions that both men and women have about what they are and how that is defined, and the separation between those two things. Now, I know I know many people deal with this thing in the strict applications, that women are supposed to be soft and men allow that in the way that they care for her. I agree with that to the extent that it is healthy, because when we take even that too far, it becomes an enablement.
Absolutely.
And when you enable people in their folly,
you're
not growing them. You're not helping them grow. You're not providing an environment wherein they grow. You're providing the environment wherein they're suffocating and don't recognize it. And then they hit with the epiphany, like, how did I get here? What happened? What is this? Everything is falling apart, and I thought that I was doing everything right on the way.
And
then it's your fault because you let me.
And then you're blamed. That's the existential crises that they then have to sort through. And that's one of the reasons that I published this book, because this is where we deal with how you connect to a person. It's often been said that, communication is key, communication is key, communication is key. Everybody will say that, but they'll never do anything to really improve their communication skills. That is because they think that what they have that's gotten them where they are is enough. And it's often not. That's why they're having these difficulties. So when you deal with you're putting aside your bad experiences. They're putting aside their bad experiences, and you come together as raw and as natural as both of you can be.
Yeah.
That is the purpose of communication. That is the purpose of connecting. Communication is that vehicle through which connection like that is established.
Yeah.
It's not just about, I said what I said and you heard me or you didn't, and it's on you. No.
Take that time. With a passion.
Your object is to convince the person of what you're thinking, not to convince them that it's right, but just for them to understand.
Right.
And
exactly.
If you approach any discussion with the idea that the only way a person will show agreement with you is if they accept what you said, that premise is incorrect. You cannot tell a person that since you don't agree with me, that means you don't understand what I said. No.
That's not true.
Once you understand what I said, whether or not you agree is your own decision.
Right.
And once you make that decision, you share it with me, and then I understand what you said. That's a walk through the physical filters that happen in a communicative exchange, in a conversation.
Yeah.
And that is intimacy.
Yeah.
That is where you will be who you are in front of that person, and you receive who they are.
Right.
That is the foundation from which that intimacy grows.
Right.
Right.
To go to what you were saying, Tashon, about your parents, them to a lot of especially older people, communication, talking about. Did you see what so and so said on TV last night? Yeah, I was what. That's intimacy.
Absolutely.
That's connecting, and there's a lot of people who are not great communicators and don't know it.
No.
I had to talk to somebody. There's this lady who she'll talk to me. She'll send me stuff. She's like she's a Trump supporter, I guess.
Okay.
But she's like Black and Latino.
Okay.
Both of those should be adverse,
right,
to Trump. But she'll talk to me about these things, and it's not a conversation.
Okay.
She sends me these things, and then she expects me to be outraged and to agree with what she's saying. And then if I offer any counter argument, it's I can't believe that you're being, confused by, and you're just. I'm like, so I had to let her know because we had a conversation one time. And then she's like, "Don't come on my page, blah 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 blah," saying this and that. Okay, all right, because to me, it's a conversation.
Right.
I left Gary without joining any gangs.
Exactly.
I'm not going to join one as I become an adult.
Right.
And I'm getting into grandfather age, even though my kids ain't made me no grandfather yet. But I'm in that age, and still haven't joined it. Like I am the type of person who I cannot belong to an organization that I can't question.
Right.
So I look at things objectively as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
So if I'm having this conversation with you, she did that, and then I was like, okay, I backed away. But then she kept on sending me stuff.
Yeah.
So I had to hop in the DMs and said, listen, I am fine with having conversation.
Yeah.
But what you cannot do is throw something on my page or throw something at me and expect me to believe whatever it is that you're saying, or to not question it. That's not how I get down. So if you want to have a conversation, we can have a conversation about it. If you want me to agree with you, that's probably not going to happen.
Right.
So she thumbs up it, and we're cool. But I tell everybody, I'm a communicator. I love the exchange. I like hearing what you have to say, and then you hearing what I have to say, and maybe we figure out something that we didn't figure out before about one another or something like that. But I am not somebody who you tell me something and I don't investigate it, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy, and now I go and I parrot that same thing because that's not to go to what you're. That's not an intimate connection to me.
Right.
That's just. That's me being a parrot. So I want to talk to you I want you to talk to me, and I want you to hear what I have to say, and in the context that I'm saying it, and I want to hear what you have to say in the context that you're saying it, so that we can understand one another. And then when we come away, we've just had an intimate moment.
That's right. That's right.
With our clothes on, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hopefully. You know? I want no rules. You know? I want no rules. And you know,
baby, you're so thick, baby.
You know what I mean? Some conversations need to be had with no clothes on. But regardless, we had an exchange, and it's been intimate, and I've gotten to know something more about you that I didn't know. And that's how, that's what people are struggling with. They don't know how to have a conversation without you
a simple conversation.
I'm saying, or else you're against me.
Yeah, because we're so ready to, ready to respond, without the listening. Even as a former educator in a classroom, I always embrace children asking questions, right? I love it. And some people don't like people to ask questions. I've had they shouldn't. No. That's how they learn. That sparks conversation between the groups or whatnot. And so I will always open these doors, but then I will also realize that a lot of my babies didn't know how to talk to each other, and that's because they didn't see conversation in their household. It was either the parent is talking at them, fussing at them, or whatnot, but they don't have conversation. Just simple things like, beyond how was your day, and so now you have these same people growing up, getting to relationships. They're, excuse my French, but they're screwing each other, and now they're reproducing babies, and now you're starting the same cycle. And so now you're starting to see, oh, well, I didn't like her, or you having issues with your baby mama and baby daddy. Well, that's because y'all never talked.
You
never had a conversation. You don't
know how to talk to one another.
Right. So you never got a chance to know. You never experienced intimacy in your relationship. It was just a hookup. And so now y'all are hating each other, and you're in these vicious cycles. It's not that you hate each other. You really don't understand each other because you never got a chance to know each other beyond the sex part. You never got a chance to talk with each other. And I was once there. It's like, oh, you cute, I'm cute. Let's get together. Boom. We ain't got to talk about nothing.
I want to add to that just a little bit. There are people who are cute, but I'm going to say this. There are people who are cute, men and women, both attractive, and cannot sexually perform at all. So
Evelyn, wait a minute, Evelyn.
Wait.
Give him a couple more, Johnny. We need a couple more.
Hold
It's
true. No, we agree.
Yeah.
But where I was going with that was, it's the idea that sometimes when people get together, they only talk long enough to arrange sex, and then they have the sex, they produce this child, and the sex wasn't even that good. So now it's like they have nothing else in common but this child, And one of the reasons that the sex wasn't that good is that they never learned how to talk to each other about anything serious, much less what would be sexually pleasing.
That's right.
Yeah.
On top of that, another reason why, even though this isn't the sex talk, but another reason why the sex probably wasn't good is because of the lack of intimacy. Let fellas listen. She knows you only got 3 of them.
Hold that thought, Mark. We gotta take it. Hold it. Don't write it down. Hold on.
I got it.
25 seconds. Hold on.
Chelsea Speaks, owner of Women Are Dope. Visit www.womenaredope.com. Latressa A. Crawford, executive life coach and speaker. Visit her IG at _real_Latressa. Trinette L. Collier Green, owner of TLC Coaching, certified relationship coach. Visit her at www.IamTrinetteLCollier.com. Dr. Tyra Gardner, the Wellness Center of Mindfulness. Email hello@wellnesscenterofmindfulness.com.
All right, Mark, what you were saying?
Totally forgot what I was. No, I didn't. Like, fellas, she knows you only got 3 inches. She knows. Reason why sex is still good.
See, I was not gonna. Okay.
I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna extend what you were saying, Evelyn, and I'm gonna take it there. Okay. The reason why
we need love for that nub, baby.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Love for that nub, baby.
The reason why she is still either willing to be with you or sex might even still be interesting to her is because of the level of intimacy that you have with her.
Correct.
Her feeling comfortable with you, her feeling good when she's around you, and she's willing to deal with your little, your little pink.
Little manhood.
Mark, that's another show. Does size really matter?
It does. But on top of that,
I mean, that goes hand in hand. Does that play in the intimacy part? But
because
the size of his ego is a bigger problem often. The size of his ego will be a bigger problem, because if he knows he's only working with 3 inches and she says physically that's not doing it for me, you need to be comfortable with some toys if that makes a difference here.
Yeah.
For your willingness to satisfy me as willing as I am to be here with you.
Yeah.
And like you said, that's an entirely different thing.
Right.
We'll go there
he probably makes a lot of money though. But
exactly.
Right. Yeah. We're gonna compensate. We're gonna find a way to compensate. But but that's what I'm talking about as far as intimacy. When you, like, as a guy who was raised around a lot of women, you learn how to communicate and to speak to women and to have these conversations, because it's normal. Conversations were normalized in the household. When you have these intimate situations and you find out a woman says that she's never like orgasmed, or she like how do you do that? How do you like, in my mind, how do you have the act and that never happened? Like, but that's because in my mind, that's what a guy is supposed to do. Like, that's what you're supposed to handle business. You're there for a job. You got one job. You know what I'm saying?
One job, right?
Get that job done.
You got one job.
And what are
one job?
One job. But
you can't do that one job with that one knob, baby. You
can't. That's why. Anyway,
I'm sorry, Lord, because some people can't
The other point, I'm sorry, were you
just to say the focus was not on her, and that's because there was no intimacy there, and he didn't value her. It was just, I'm here to get what I'm here to get.
Exactly. Yeah. And to an earlier point, we were talking about culture and order, and how in the Black community that seems to be lacking, whereas with other races there is a stronger sense of nationality, and there are things that they wouldn't accept that Black culture is embracing, because you do what you do versus having order and tradition and things of that sort. Not all things about tradition are bad, but most of the things that have been blamed on tradition are horrific. It was traditional that women were property, and that's how a lot of men still treat women, even though the laws have changed. A lot has changed. Many men still have that mentality that once I take her on as my woman, as my wife, as my girl, whatever she is, whatever definition they want to give that relationship, then she is mine, as in property. Not mine as in partner, cherished, protecting because it's valuable, not protecting because it's weak. Right. Those mentalities haven't shifted, even though some elements of cultural application have changed. One of the reasons that we see this happen more in the Black communities than we do other races is the deliberate concentration of division in the Black communities that does not happen in other communities. The problem with men, Black men particularly, who are incarcerated at disproportionate numbers, it leaves the women to do the things that the women then have to do to care for the house, take care of the children, and all of those types of things.
Yeah.
Now she's achieving these educational achievements with scholarships from a government who has particularly jailed him on purpose to create that division.
Yeah.
All those things being said, people lose sight of the woman's capability that she could do it and focus on that she shouldn't because of why she's been allowed to. And that's not fair to her. She is capable because she is capable. And it's often those capabilities that are underestimated and undervalued to throw her into a role that may not be where she can thrive the most. If we superimpose certain traditional proprieties, all people, the men and the women, are going to be robbed of the fullness of their experience because she's only doing this, and because she's only doing that, then this is what he's only allowed to do because society is imposing on them that this is how we trying to break down your family structure, when that particular concentrated attack is not present in other cultures, in other communities. When we take that into consideration, number one, women, we should stop clowning men as hard as we do when they can't get certain jobs because they have felonies over traffic stops. They have felonies over whatever minor thing it is.
Yeah.
Men should stop demonizing women for having a career, for having the educational capability to secure those jobs that maybe he couldn't because of this felony record that she doesn't have. Yes, these things are bad. Yes, those created divisional factors are bad, and we do have to take that into consideration. But devaluing the individual because of those things will prevent an intimate connection like no other thing can.
What? Let me say this. What disqualifies? I think a lot of women are. They're basing this on their experiences, and I get it. But is your energy that's masculine? It's not what you can do. It's not that you can change brakes. It's not that you can put a roof on. It's not that you can do all of the things a man could do. You let it precede you. You let that thing be known first thing first. That's the issue. That's the issue a lot of women are having. No, I can do this. I don't need you. I got this. I can do this. I know women that can do a whole lot more than the average man and still does not lose their femininity in it. I know women that can make.
I agree with that.
Right. So that's so it's not that we don't have a problem with you being able to do what I do. That's fine. I applaud you. That is dope.
Most of us don't.
It's most of us, right?
Mark.
Most of us, right? But it's just it's when you let it precede you. When I don't see your femininity, your feminine, your softness, that ain't for me. That's all it is. Every man don't see what you do as a threat. You know what I mean? Every man don't see you changing oil and changing brakes as a threat. You know what I'm saying? We just don't. Is that every time we have an interaction, it's this. It's I can do this too. So I don't need you. Okay, well then I don't need that.
Go shovel that snow then.
That's what I said.
The other side of that coin, is women's response to men who have had money, who have had things that they try to lord over her because of their position as a man. He shows up with her and he says, I don't care that you have a degree and I don't. I don't care that you make the money that I don't. I don't care that you can change the oil and change the tire in the time that it takes me to take off my clothes and get ready for us to jump into bed. I don't care about none of that. You're a woman. I'm the man. You shut up. A lot of women have talked to men who have that attitude, and their response is, I don't need you. And that's why she says that to him. At the same time, like I said a minute ago, the presence of these issues, yes, they're bad, but they shouldn't take away from the individuals and their actual potential to be who they are. The other thing I wanted to say about that was this. Many women are victims in this society of a male predominated mentality, which means this. When she thinks about what it means to be strong, her only example of it is to look at a man, because that's what the world says is strong. So if I, as a woman, am going to be strong, I'm going to raise my voice and pound and beat my chest and bark orders at you, because that's what the world says is strength.
Do you
So
agree with that?
when she's doing that,
that's definitely what the world tells.
I don't know, not me personally, but I'm talking about as a general premise. That's the reason that a lot of women are very proud of the things that they can do, and they lead with that because that's what they've been told the world appreciates.
Correct.
The problem is her individual strength doesn't matter in that whole framework. Her goal is to look like what the world says is strong, and that is typically embodied by the visage of a man, of male, or of masculinity and masculine things. Case in point, crash test dummies are built by a man's body, not a woman's body, and that's why women are injured worse in car accidents than a lot of men are. You take particular executive desks, they're built considering the height of a man, not short women. So she's, hanging on the desk and all of these things because the world is centered around a man. So if she's trying to take her place in it and stop being looked at as property and to be valued as a human being, her position is, if that's what they see, then that's what I'm going to give them. The problem with that becomes, that isn't how she's seen. She's still looked at and demeaned for being a woman, and her assertiveness becomes bossy, while his assertiveness is still championed as a leader. That is the issue with what you were saying earlier. The idea that there's okay, if a person is born female, let's just make this real simple. If a person is born female and she learns how to become an airplane mechanic, that's typically something that people assume that men will do, but she's good at it. She can do it. There's no problem in that. But in order to do that, she's going to get dirty. She's going to have the jumpsuit that's going to be oily and all of those kinds of things. People see her in that and automatically assume that she's not feminine. That isn't the proper judgment criterion, because whether or not you are female, the spectrum of femininity is a separate thing.
Right.
Whether or not you are male, the spectrum of masculinity is a separate thing, because there are women with low femininity, a feminine presence, that still have a monthly cycle. Okay. So we're dealing with the female, the male, the presentation of femininity, and the presentation of masculinity. Those are not the same. And because people equate them so frequently, we have certain discussions that go off into, you're not feminine if you do this. You're not masculine if you do that. You're not a real man if you don't do this. You're not a real woman if you don't do that. All of those things that define what is man, what is woman, what is masculine, what is feminine, all of those definitions are set solely apart from a female, from a male person, from a female person. Those are different. And if people don't make the separation as they need to, there will continue to be misgivings about the propriety of a role or propriety of an action or not.
All right. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree. If you get away from gender roles, there's primal things that we as a civilized society pretend aren't there for some reason. The further we get away from it. Evelyn, when you were talking earlier about a very muscular woman versus a very little puny, little teeny tiny man, and she may like that little teeny tiny man, and she could probably bench press him like 20 times. And that's her thing. She likes him.
Yeah.
I think the spectrum of femininity is a lot wider than that for masculinity. And it's because men we don't go around judging like, hey, he looks like he's not as masculine, or hey, we judge that based off of our interaction with you.
Right.
Like if I'm talking, if I'm talking to you and you always complaining, I mean, shut up. I mean, like stop whining all the time. We don't do that. You know, like when you, like, for a man, when he hears his son, they never pick me for ball, and they don't never want to do. That's like nails on a chalkboard. We don't want to hear that from our sons, not because we don't feel like they have a legitimate reason,
right?
But that is not how you're going to, like. That's not how you're gonna fix it. There was a study done where they had they put babies down and they put blocks in front of the babies, and the male children trying to get past the blocks knocked them out of the way, whereas the girl children tend to cry until somebody came and fixed the situation. Now that's not to say that women just gonna say
right.
But men's it's our instinct to problem solve. Before we feel anything, we try and solve the problem. So hearing the like, there's certain things that are just masculine. There's certain things that are part of being a man. So when we're talking about
can we agree to that? Hold on, Mark. Can we agree to that?
No. I can't agree to that.
There are certain things that are just masculine. Can we agree to that?
Wait. The idea that there's certain things are masculine, certain things are feminine, has a foundational premise that I do agree with, but not always in this application. I, born female, have a tendency to be very analytical, very methodical, very logical, so much to the point that most of my life people have told me that I think like a man. I've shared with you before that to me was funny at first, but then it became an insult, because they're suggesting that a logically thinking woman is so far out of her place that in order for a woman to be that, she is doing what a man would do. And I don't know that, no, let me say this the way that I intend for it to be delivered. That is not correct. There are instances where women are told you're the emotional one and men are logical. The differences that exist between men and women are exploited and exaggerated to the point that those strict silos of what men and women should and shouldn't do exist. And when we were talking about intimacy in the beginning, it is the place between those strict definitions that intimacy actually happens. When a man steps out of that archetype of all logic to a woman and says, I am emotional right now, that is where he is intimate with her in that way. When a woman steps out of her, oh, I'm so emotional, I'm hormonal and all of this kind of stuff, to say to her guy, I have a goal and this is what I want to do, then she is intimate with him in that way. But yes, there are differences in men and women. I absolutely uphold that. But the level to which those differences have been exploited to create these strict silos is where I disagree. That is the proper structure for this conversation to be built upon.
I agree with that, but that goes back to the spectrum that I was talking about.
Right.
You can be an analytical woman and still be a woman. You can be
that's what I'm saying.
An emotional woman and still be a woman. You all can survive in the same environments, and you can go to the same hair shops, and you cannot be an overly emotional man and then also be with a stoic man.
Right.
The reason why is because emotional men are a liability. Now we're talking about extremes, right?
Let him cook, y'all. Let him cook, please. Let him cook.
An emotional man is led by his emotions before he's led by a train of logic or thought. You add that to somebody who is physically dominant, and you have somebody who, when their feelings are hurt, they can do damage to themselves and to everybody else in the world. That's why we don't consider that manly. A dude that gets mad because his girl beat him in spades and he smack her, that ain't a man.
No.
That's we don't consider him manly because he's emotional. Yeah, would my feelings be hurt? Especially if she like get up and smack like real hard
and break the table.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel some type of way. Like that when the dude had the cards in his finger. Like, don't do me like that.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna like that's still my baby. I'm not gonna like feel like I have to do something. Like I remember when I was a kid, I was playing NBA Live with this dude, and I was church circles, right? We was after church, we were sitting there playing, and I was cooking this dude and I'm dunking on him, and his girl, who was a friend of mine, like real close, I consider her like a sis. She was like, "Ooh," right? Like I dunked on him, "Ooh," man. And he was like, and like punched her in the thigh, and I'm like,
yeah, nah.
And so one, I was like, okay, maybe I need to not like go so hard on this dude in the game because he wilding. But then afterwards, I pulled her to something. I was like, yo, are y'all good? Because you know what I'm saying? That wasn't cool. What? No. He cool. No, that's fine. We just do that from time to time. And then after I left, she goes to him, baby, guess what Mark said? Now they leave the group, the church choir that we were in, because like I caused like some controversy. I wasn't used to that, right?
Right.
That was an emotional dude expressing his emotion in a moment, in an instant. Because that's what happens when you're emotional. You're not thinking about like what happens after. You're just, I have to do something right now because I feel this thing right now. And you add muscle and dense bone to that, and it can be dangerous. Whereas a woman
is very dangerous, man. He can kill his
mother.
Yeah.
So we don't consider that masculine. That's not masculine energy.
Yeah.
A woman can do the exact same thing. Y'all laughing and joking, and you tell a real good one, and you cooking her, and her friends laughing. And she hits you on the arm. You just and you cook her, right? Because she's smaller than you. It's not going to, should she hit you? No. I mean, little.
I know.
But
we get that.
It's different. So that's why, like, she can still be a woman and do that. Though.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If being led by emotion is not a good look, why is it so readily? No. See, that's the exact extinction that I did not. That is the exact distinction that I wanted to highlight. Why is being led by emotion, as bad as it is in general, why is that so commonly accepted that women can behave that way and it's all right? If a woman is emotional and she goes off on her traffic court judge, she's probably still going to jail.
Because she does.
The same way a man is emotional, going off on his girlfriend when he didn't have a right to. The point that I'm making is, for anyone to be out of control based on emotion is not a good look, but it's acceptable that women behave that way, and it's bound in hell for men to behave that way. And why is that the societal construct?
Because I can control a woman before I can control a man. A man can end up killing a whole room full of people. A woman may not. That's the difference.
A hungry tiger is a lot more dangerous than a hungry kitten.
Right.
So
prime example, the guy who just killed up 7 people in Chicago.
7 of them.
7 of them. And Chef was telling me it was over money. That's emotions. You kill up children in that because you could not control your emotions over some money versus being the adult, you know, and really just thinking, okay, well, over inheritance money, but you kill 7 people, including teenagers who had nothing to do with that was emotional. And then you take your life.
Like, so what was the purpose? So
right, what was
the purpose? This is the analytical mind, right?
Yeah.
If I'm going to kill you, not advocating for offing somebody, but
right.
if I'm going to, but if I'm going to, there has to be a purpose because I'm risking so much. I'm not going to kill you all, then kill myself. Then what's the benefit of the killing? Like, I'm going to offer you so that I can get this inheritance money. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that when you die, I at least get to spend it. What's the point of me killing you and then offering myself? That's an emotional decision. That's why we don't consider men who are very emotional manly. We don't consider them that. And while it's acceptable for women to be emotional because somebody has to be number one. Like, it can't be a whole bunch of like scientists walking around on the planet analyzing every instance like somebody has to think about how somebody's feeling about it. And that's the balance usually that women who are more emotional give to men who are more analytical. I may be thinking, no, he borrowed money. He said he was going to pay me on the 5th. It's the 6th. I'm going to go run down on him. And the woman might be like, well, look, his mom just passed. He probably isn't thinking about this. Oh, yeah, she did just pass. Like, that's the balance that we so there's more. And emotional women can be dangerous, but are not as dangerous as emotional men are. So that's why it is more acceptable for women to be emotional than it is for men to be emotional. It's just
because she'll most likely just argue.
Neither great.
They're neither great. Right.
I remember in while I was teaching pre-K, my of course I've always had boys. That was one inspiration for this show. I've always had the privilege of teaching my Black boys, and you know, as a female teacher, because many of my boys always they were surrounded by women all day, from their mother to the grandmother to the aunties. So it's all of that. And so now get to school, you get to school, now you have a female teacher. And I remember one of the male teachers, he said, one of my babies, or the boys, they would have to go to the bathroom, and in pre-K, you couldn't teach them you couldn't unbutton their pants. They had to figure it out themselves, right? And I remember a couple of my boys, they were like, Miss Green, I can't. So automatically as a teacher, I will, try to help them or whatever. But with my girls, I'd be like, go in there and go to the bathroom, you know how to do it. And my male teacher friend, he observed me for a couple of days, and he came to me. He said, I'm just telling you this as a man. He said, stop unzipping their pants. Let them do it. He said, you teaching the little girls to be little women on fire, but you're
teaching boys to take care.
He was like, you're enabling them. He was like, let them learn it. He was like, that's part of growing into a man, into a boy. They're gonna have to learn how to use the bathroom and unzip their pants. And he was like, I know that as a nurturer that's what y'all women are used to doing. He said, but you're creating. He's gonna be full of emotional. He's not gonna be able to make. He's not going to be able to make logical decisions because he's going to always look for that woman to take care or to protect. You're right. And so I observed that. I said, okay. And he was like, no, he said, you're good. But I appreciate him as a man telling me that, because again, as women, female teachers, this is what we would do to our little boys. But for the girls, we send them in there to be independent. It's like, Miss Green, I don't know how to button it. And I would be like, you know how to button it? Go ahead and button it up, girl, like that. And they would do it.
A lot more confidence in little girls.
Right.
Yeah.
But when I stopped doing that and I observed, guess what? my boys did learn how to unbutton, pull out that little pee-pee and pee, and try to, and then if they needed my help,
the little Peter man,
you're right, and you know, it be coming, pee-pee hanging all down the bed. I mean, oh Lord, but I'd be like, oh my gosh, like,
did he really tell you that you're making Little Women on fire? Did he really?
Yeah, he did. He said, because he was like, he said, I'm observing you. He said, because you're making them independent. Yeah, exactly. And he was right, because my girls ran my classroom, right? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, like my 4-year-old girls could do all of this stuff because I allowed them, and I didn't even give them directions on like I would share them 1 or 2 times, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I expected them, and I'm like, okay, you can do it. But my boys, I'm like, oh, well, I got it. Or I would make excuses. Oh, well, you know what? You don't have to do it. I'll do it for you or whatnot. So what he was saying, no, let that boy be a boy. So he will not depend, because again, he doesn't have a father around in the household. And he's seeing all these women, and more than likely at home, the women are helping him as well, helping the boys as well. Yes, so at school, let him be a boy. And when I stepped back and I allowed them to be boys, I was like, oh, wow. It made a right. Hold that thought, y'all.
Did you stop letting the girls lead the class? Or was it just that adjustment for the boys' side?
It wasn't a competition. I pulled back on both of them, but I did notice what he was saying, because this was me throughout my teaching years. My girls, I allowed them to be independent. The expectations on them, I told them they knew how to do it. The expectations. Right. Whereas my boys, I expected them to need me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Need me as a woman, need me as a teacher, need me. And therefore I can take care. I can take care of them. Whereas my girls, it's like, okay, well, stop crying. Go ahead and go get it together, because you don't have time for this. You got to keep it moving. That was how I was.
And that's a lot of mothers and daughters relationship today.
Right. So hold that thought, guys. Hold that thought. We got this last commercial break. Hold on.
All right. Kimberly Lewis, owner of Chemistry Treats. Visit her IG at KIMISTRTY_treats. Toki Miller, 50 State Mortgage Loan Officer and owner of Lavish Living LLC. You can reach her at 504-564-4142. Janice Daniel, an esthetician and the owner of The Plush Lab. Visit www.theplushlab.com. Dr. Gina Crawford, owner of The Power Experience Ministry Consulting. Visit www.iscministries633.com.
Listen, you guys, go. I don't know. Who was next?
Evelyn.
Okay, Evelyn.
Oh, okay. I was asking if you had done something specifically with the way that you interacted with your female students versus the male students after that. And I think that oftentimes the opposite is true. That's what I was trying to say. Oftentimes the opposite is true. You see, parents, if the boy's having a problem, they tell him, suck it up. Don't have emotions. Don't do anything. Just go fix it, whatever. But if the female child is going through something, oh, come here, hug. I got you.
No.
Usually that is the way that it does happen, because if the guy, the little boy is taught your emotions are your enemy. If you have them, shut them up, do what you need to do. And when the little girl cries, she's the one who's, for lack of a better word, coddled and comforted and told that it's okay to, feel this and process this and cry and do all of that kind of stuff. The example that you provided in your actions and what your male teacher friend told you is the opposite of what usually happens.
Well, it does. We still did it. We still did. It was still that case, because a lot of people say, "Oh, boy, suck it up," or whatnot. It's still an imbalance in the schools. But what I was doing as a pre-K teacher, because that was the first, interaction in school or whatnot, I was contributing to that. So I did allow my boys to show emotions. I had a lot of angry boys. And nobody ever gave them a chance to express this anger. So when people came in my classroom, oh, he tearing up the classroom. I'm like, yeah, he tearing up the classroom. We trying to figure some things out. So I'm, he know to clean up afterwards. But I allowed that safe space for him to tear up the classroom until he can learn how to manage his anger or whatnot. So it was an imbalance. It's an imbalance in school because we don't know how to teach our Black boys and Black girls outside of ABCs. And this is why teachers, it's frustrating because you are dealing with emotions. You don't know what you're supposed to do because you're just like, okay. But this is why I encourage teachers to go beyond the classroom. I took a class on how to teach Black boys, so that helped me in my career. Because
by whom?
Who
taught the class on how to teach Black boys?
I forgot. It was a Black professor, and he did. It was a special. We had a PD, and it was very interesting. It was very interesting. It was and a lot, and it was funny because a lot of white teachers were in the class in the PD.
Of course,
because you have Black boys in your classroom. I learned that Black boys needed more hydration. They needed to stand up. They could not sit down all 7 hours in their classroom. They needed to express themselves. And I'm like, oh, wow, I've been teaching all this time and not understand the boys that I'm teaching. And then once I started making those changes in my classroom, I saw a huge difference. Mark, what you got to say? We got to wrap it up in a minute. But what you had to say, Mark?
Real quick, the problem what you displayed is something that happens when in relationships, right?
Yeah.
Mothers tend to baby their sons, and they tend to have expectations on their daughters. Fathers tend to baby their daughters and have expectations for their sons. That's why it was always meant for there to be both, because a father is not going to sit there and let you wipe the face of your 7-year-old when he can wipe his own face. Like at some point he should be wiping his own. Yeah,
That's right.
And y'all like, oh, okay, let me get
right.
No, put that down. But I will admit, like, I had issues also when I started having daughters. It was like when I had to discipline them, I was a wreck. My female best friend had to like snatch me up and be like, boy, stop, put her down.
Right.
Like I'm like, I just had to like spank it, and not even like a spank, like hard, like pat, and she cried a little bit. I'm like, oh, put her down. Oh, okay, all right. Because
and we get good at that as we get older.
And mothers tend to. So if you're coming into a relationship, you have to make space for the other person, because they're not going to coddle your. Like if you're a mother and you have sons, you need somebody who's not going to coddle your son and who's going to teach you how not to coddle him, because that could be a problem. Same thing for fathers. Fathers are maybe they're more open. I don't know. I haven't done any research on that. To hearing a woman's input when it comes to, okay, you're not setting strong expectations for your daughter. You're kind of babying her, something like that. But that is something that tends to happen. That boy grows up and he grows up looking for the woman that's going to take care of him.
And when we teach young women that their emotions leading them are okay, we have to stop wondering why she continues to choose the wrong men. Because that foundation is where her decisions are actuated from. And if she is not taught the proper self-awareness, if she's not taught the proper self-assertion in some cases, then she will always look for somebody else to give that to her, which we said in the beginning, that is not his job.
To manage her
looking for it, because that's the way she's taught to approach relationships. And this is why the foundation of all of these things has to be readjusted, because we don't often have the luxury of readjusting all of it when they're little. We get to people who are in their 20s and 30s and 40s who've had these things and don't realize how they've been tanked emotionally by these things. But that is a founding premise. When we teach women that it's okay to be led by emotion, it's okay to do all of these things that would be appropriate in no other situation, we have to stop blaming her for the decisions that she's making, because we've given her the foundation to go do that wrong, and now we're judging her for it.
Right.
Nope.
Good
I ain't letting you get away with that, but go ahead. Good show. Good show.
No, listen. Go, what you guys say? Your final words. So everybody, I hate to wrap up this show. It's always good conversation. Man. We have to come back.
We'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back.
I got headphones now, so
you got headphones. Okay, so final words, last words, Johnny Prince.
I want to give a shout to my son. He just got his driver's license. Shouts to him. He's about to be 23 on the 6th. So I'm proud of you, son. Yeah, I'm proud of you, man. Thank goodness. I'm glad you got it, because I've been trying to beat it to your head forever.
Yeah. Right, congratulations.
And his birthday's coming up, so happy early birthday.
Happy birthday.
I'm gonna have to have a whole 23-year-old son. That's crazy.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, just be on the lookout. Be Clear Alert podcast. I got some videos coming up. Be on the lookout for that. And that's that. That is. I appreciate me being here, y'all. Thank y'all so much, man.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for having me.
Indeed. Same. I am so grateful for the opportunity to share your platform. And currently, I'm still working on my Sensible Sundays weekly posts on Facebook. And books are available for purchase at evelynwhitney.com. I love the commercial that you guys do for me. It's fantastic in the break.
No doubt.
Thank you so much for that. And follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and my YouTube channel.
Awesome. Mark B.
Yep. Same thing. Follow me on Facebook. I go Facebook Live just randomly. I don't have a set time yet, but I talk about a lot of different things. Mark Brooks Sr. on there. I decided to be grown and put my government.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's what it is.
Yeah. And on Instagram, right, senior, because I do have a junior out there. I don't want him messing up my name. But on Instagram, the Mark B. I'm on Twitter/X. So yeah, I'm out there, and I'll be talking about a whole bunch of things. Free Palestine.
No doubt.
See, listen.
What you got going on, Tashon?
I love it. Listen, we got some new things coming up for the mail room. I have 2 events. The vision board events, so the links are posted on my Facebook page and Instagram and so forth. Make sure you have subscribed to the YouTube 7670, the mailroom 7671, and just getting ready for the second quarter, man. Like it's a lot that's happening, and I can't really say yet, but it's a lot of stuff that's coming. So you know, I'm super proud. I am happy, and I'm just ready. I'm just ready to take this to the next level. So, you know, if y'all have topics that you want us to cover, again, the mailroom is a safe and positive space for our Black men. So, you know, we're not here to be combative. We're not here to, you know, all of that. We're bridging the communication gap. And as you can see every week, even with our guest co-hosts, we have good cultured conversation, and you ain't seen us not once talk down to each other, dismiss each other, or any of that. We don't have to agree on what we think, but we can agree to be respectful, and that's what TMR is all about. We are bring that conversation back. That's part of intimacy as a whole, bringing that conversation back where we can talk to each other and just really have fun, you know. So even though I got to give LaRon the brow right now for coming in at the last minute,
at the booty butt end of the
you know,
didn't put his camera on.
All right, you know, I ain't gonna even show his face.
My hearts don't work today.
The little thing.
My hearts don't work today.
They don't work today.
They don't work today. What's going on?
But no, good to see you, LaRon.
Damn it.
Right. Good to see you, LaRon. But y'all, make sure you stay connected. Like I said, subscribe to the podcast and just tell a friend. So until next week, next time, or next time. Listen, I hate leaving these conversations. That's why I really do hate.
A lot of meat left on the bone.
Right. But we will be finishing up this chat. So until next week, y'all, we're out.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
The mail room, I be tuned in. Listen in to Tashon, she be going in. Y'all. Black queen for us black kings. We can learn a thing or two when we're locked in. One of the few places we can be heard. Man, I rocks with her, that's my word. The show is enlightening, engagement always enticing. I'm always come with an open mind, I'm never frightened. Guaranteed to walk away with minerals. Now that I'm thinking everything else is minuscule. We're the fools who don't protect black women. No arguing, disrespect, and that's it. Please come in peace when you call in, cause our friends ain't no slouch, fair warning. The mail room, messages from him. Y'all better listen if you wanna win. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in. The mail room to stay, the mail room, yes, it's here to stay. Messages from him, tune in.